Good day, my name is Richard and a warm welcome to Tutoring with Richard, where we cover the South African school syllabus and native topics. Today we're going to cover Mathematics in 6. The topic of this tutorial is a mixed bag of questions you might find in your tests or exams. Let's get straight into it. First sum is sine, the integral of sine cubed 2x. Now, what we need to do is split it. Now, wait. Before we do that, before we split it, I need to explain something. Whenever you have an exponent above 2 but below 5, you will use this method. Okay. So, sine squared 2x multiplied by sine 2x. And that'll give you your same answer at the top. Now, integral. Now what we need to do is remember your identities. Your identity of sine squared x, it's sine squared x plus cos squared x equals to 1. Now, because of this, what is sine squared x? It is 1 minus cos squared. So sine squared x is equal to 1 minus cos squared x. Alright. So, what we have now is 1 minus cos 2 squared 2x multiplied by sine 2x. Okay, now what we need to do is multiply the sine 2x into the bracket. So we are foiling. So, sine times 1 is sine 2x, and then multiply minus cos squared 2x multiplied by sine 2x. And this is all integrated. Now, because we have a minus sign in our sum, we can actually put another integral sign here. So, what we're going to do is integrate sine 2x minus the integral of cos 2 squared 2x multiplied by sine 2x. I'm just erasing so that I have more space to work with. Now, what we're going to do is integrate sine 2x. So, the integral of sine 2x is minus cos. So, it's minus cos 2x over 2. Now, the reason it is over 2 is because when we integrate, we divide. When we differentiate, we multiply, which you will see in action right now. So, we're going to integrate. Now, because this has an exponent and this doesn't, we need to get rid of this because integration only likes one term. So, because integration likes one term, we have to get rid of the sine 2x. So, how we get rid of it is say u is equal to cos 2x. Now, du over dx is equal to 2 sine 2x. Okay. That's the differential of this. Now what we need to do is multiply. Now we take dx here and we move that down. So we got du over 2 sine 2x. Now what we do is multiply by du over 2 sine 2x. So what we have now is we can erase sine 2x and sine 2x because we've multiplied them. We've basically cancelled them and make them equal to 1. So now what we're left with is u squared, and that's it. So multiplied by a half. Now all we have to do is take this and move it outside. So we got minus cos 2x over 2 minus a half u2 plus 1 over 2 plus 1. Okay, so now what we got is cos 2x over 2, and 2 times 3 is 6, so minus 1 over 6, and u is cos 2x, so cos 2x and our exponent to the power 3 plus c. And that is our final answer. Okay, our next integral is x squared times cos x. Alright, now what we need to do, now this is integration by parts. So, what we want to do is get one term in the integral sign. We want to get one term there. So this is how you go about it. U v prime is equal to u v minus the integral of u prime v. The only one that we can get rid of in this method is x squared. So x squared is going to be u and v prime is going to be cos x. So on the right hand side you will write this. U is equal to x squared. U prime is equal to 2x. V prime is equal to cos x. And v is equal to sine x. Now what we need to do is put that inside our formula. So we have x squared sine x minus the integral of 2x sine x. Okay, now we still got two terms on the inside of the integral sign. So what we're going to do is make this u and that v prime. So let's draw a line here so that we can do it separately. So u equals 2x, and u prime is equal to 2. So, v prime is equal to sine x, and v is equal to minus cos x. Okay, so what we have to do now is say x squared sine x minus 2x minus cos x minus the integral of 2 minus multiplied by minus cos x. You've got these down, so I'm just going to erase. Okay, so what we're going to do now is say x squared sine x minus 2x plus cos x. Now we're going to take the 2 out, minus 2 integral minus cos. Now we've got one term. Now we can also take the minus out if you would like. So we're going to take the minus out and make that a plus. So what we have here is cos x. So the integral of cos x is sine x. So we have x squared sine x plus 2x cos x plus 2 sine x plus c. And that is our final answer of this integration. Next sum. Okay, the integral of cos 4x. Now, what we have to do is now the integral of this, cos, the integral of cos is sine. So, we have sine 4x divided by 4. That is the basic integral that we're always going to follow. So plus c. And that will be in your formula sheet. This answer will be in your formula sheet. Next we're going to do a parametric equation. It's differentiation. Okay. Now what I always do is I always take my differentials before I start the sum, so that I know what I'm going to do next. So, x prime is 2t, and 2 multiplied by 5 gives me 10, so that's 10t to the power 4. that is our differentials. Now, what we have to do first is we have to take the second order derivative of the sum. So, but first we take the first order. dy over dx equals is ten t to the fourth multiplied by 1 over 2t. That is the first part of this. Now, what we do is 2 is 10 divided by 2, so we're going to do 10 t to the power 4 over 2t. Now, 10 divided by 2 is 5. So 5. Now, when we divide bases, we minus exponents. So, t to the fourth divided by t, so that'll take this t away, and then it'll be minus 1, because that's how many is here. So 4 minus 1 is 3. That's our first order derivative. Now, to get our second order parametric derivative, what we have to do is d squared y over dx squared. So this will equal d over dt. Now this is going to be 5t to the cube multiplied by 1 over 2t. Okay, so first off, we have to take the derivative of this again. So 3 times 5 is 15, and 3 minus 1 is 2. So this will be 15t squared multiplied by 1 over 2t. So equals 15 over 2 t squared over t. So 15 over 2 will stay 15 over 2. I'm just going to erase up here so that we have a bit more space to work with. So 15 over 2, you can't do anything with that. So that stays 15 over 2. And then the t, then it's t squared divided by t. So t here cancels, and 1 cancels there, so you're left with to the power 1. So it's 15 over 2t is your d squared y over dx squared equals. Next sum. Next sum is the integral of 1 over sec cubed x. Alright, now to make this a lot more simple, the inverse of sec is cos. So 1 over sec will equal to cos. So what we have is the integral of cos cubed x. So that makes our lives a lot easier. So what we're going to do is integrate cos squared x multiplied by cos x. Now next is, now cos, as we remember from our sine squared x plus cos squared x equals to 1. So cos squared x is equal to 1 minus sine squared x. So 1 minus sine squared x multiplied by cos x. So what we need to do now is multiply that by cos x minus the integral, of sine squared x cos x. Next part of this now we can take the integral of all of this. So the integral of cos is sine. So it's sine x minus the integral. Now we're going to do u substitution with the sine squared. So that is u squared. U equals sine x. So du over dx equals sine x is minus cos x. So what we have now is du over, so it's u times cos x multiplied by du multiplied by du over dx du over minus cos x. So cos and cos will cancel because they will become 1. So minus stays. So minus times a minus is a positive. So sine x plus the integral of u squared. So now all we have to do is say 2 plus 1 over 2 plus 1. So it is sine x plus, now 2 plus 1 is 3. So 1 over 3, and that will be sine, u will be sine, so sine x to the power 3 plus c. And that is our final answer. Right, our next cell. Right, the easiest way to do this particular type of sum, is to split the smallest exponent. That'll be the easiest way to solve this. So, we go. Now I'm going to put cos to the 5x over to that side. So I'm going to split the sine 2x multiplied by sine x multiplied by cos 5x, cos to the 5th x. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and do the identity to this. So it's 1 minus cos squared x multiplied by sine x multiplied by cos to the fifth x. Now what we do is we multiply sine x in and we multiply cos to the fifth in. We multiply them both in. But what I'm going to do first is multiply the sine x into here first, but I'm going to keep the brackets. So it'll be the integral of sine x minus cos squared x times sine x, and that's in a bracket, multiplied by cos to the fifth x. Okay, so what we need to do is multiply cos to the fifth x, cos to the power 5x. So that'll be sine x times cos to the fifth x minus, now cos to the fifth x. Now when we multiply, we add. When we multiply, we add exponents. So 5 plus 2 is 7. So cos to the 7x sine x. Now what we need to do is say, now I'm going to bring my cos to the fifth over to that side and put the sine x over here. So cos to the fifth x times sine x minus the integral of cos 7x to the sine x. Now, what we want to do is get rid of sine x. So, we go du over dx equals, now u is going to equal cos x. So now du over dx is the differential, which is minus sine x for that. So what we're going to do now is multiply. So now this is going to be u to the fifth power, multiplied by sine x, multiplied by du over minus sine x, minus u to the 7 multiplied by sine x multiplied by du over minus sine x. So now what we need to do is sine cancels with sine cancels with sine. The minus goes to the outside. So it's minus. Minus times a minus is a plus. So that goes away. So now, we've gotten rid of sine. We've gotten rid of sine. So now all we have is our u's left. Now all we have is u. So we have minus the integral of u to the fifth plus the integral of u to the 7th. So now what we're going to do is say minus the integral u to the fifth plus 1 over 5 plus 1 plus the integral of u to the 7 plus 1 over 7 plus 1. Alright, so what we need to do now is this is u to the 6th over 6 plus u to the 8 over 8. Now we cannot add these. They stay separate. The reason they stay separate is because they have different exponents and it's not multiplied. You have to add like terms. So, next point is now we're going to replace u with cos x. So, cos x to the 6th power over 6 plus cos x to the 8th power over 8 plus c. And I forgot that this is a minus from up top here, so this is minus answer. If you found this tutorial helpful, please give it a like and subscribe. It really helps with the algorithm and grow the channel. Positive feedback is most welcome. I enjoy reading your comments. Please make use of the comments section to let me know what topics you'd like me to cover in upcoming videos. Be at peace, be kind to each other, and remember, passing well is achievable. Have a great day. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video.